Hey, shalom, family of Yah at this time. May the peace of Yah be with each and every one of you, brothers and sisters. I have to do a very important video at this time, brothers and sisters, dealing with salvation is physical. I'm going to show you through the words of Yah, brothers and sisters, how the salvation is physical that our Yah is talking about, our Most High, brothers and sisters. But before I get into that, I had to talk about some real issues we having among our brethren and sisters at this time, brothers and sisters. And I see through my experience in this world and living in this life, brothers and sisters, and all the things I can see physical. Because it's very important to understand the physical. I know many of our brothers been told a lot of things through Christianity about the physical aspect of life, brother and sister. And we've been told a lot of things in these schools dealing with science and how our body is made up out of atoms. And people learn about Y and X chromosomes and all these things that make up our body, brothers and sisters. Yes. Brothers and sisters, so they try to entangle these things and use these things to overturn our prophecies, brothers and sisters. And they talk about the rocks and the archaeological findings that people find. Yes, and try to overturn the prophecies of Yah, but it's impossible to overturn the living words of Yah, brothers and sisters. I'm doing this video in the dark at this time using my flashlight. So you'll see, when I lift the flashlight, from time to time you will see the scriptures, brothers and sisters. Because this is a very important video I'm going to do to show you how the salvation of Yah talk about through the scriptures is physical for the Hebrew people, brothers and sisters, and soon be physical for the world as well. But first to his chosen people that got put out of the land. That's why it's physical, brothers and sisters, because the salvation we're looking for and the salvation we're going to obtain is all physical. Yes, we must physically read the scriptures with our eyes and see them and gain this knowledge of Yah, the spiritual aspect, the knowledge that is given to us by the words of Yah, that the laws are spiritual, but the action going to be physically done. Because we are physically being removed from our homeland, and we physically must return and gather into our homeland, just like Abiyah said, brother and sister. And you will see the whole salvation Abiyah talking about is a physical, because we're not in our homeland. That's why it's physical, brothers and sisters. Everything we see around us is physical. I know people like to talk about the spiritual, but very few people know about the Ruach in the spirit world. Never seen it with their own eyes, brothers and sisters. They never died, the people that is alive never died to understand truly about the spiritual world. We only have very little knowledge of it, but they try to attempt to explain it, brothers and sisters, but they truly can't when you listen to them. And we have brothers doing strange things and listening to strange voices, authors that write these books. Many people write many books. See, the European people taught us these things while we was here. You read all these books, so people go on the crave and read a bunch of books, a bunch of nonsense books, have nothing to do with the words of Yah. I guarantee people that do these things are going to get confused like the brother I was talking to that night. He once identified the creator by the name of Yah. He used to say Yahushua, and then he learned that no Yahushua came 2,000 years ago, but now he went further than that. He denies the name of the creator, that is Yah. By listening to all of these books, the lies people tell with all this philosophy, and they talk about science and all these type of things, the elements. They talk about the Elohim, the gods. Yes, I picked up a book when I went to the Library of Congress. Well, the man brought it to me from a vault. He said, I got this book. I saw you interested in the gods. He saw me over the monitor. And so he came to me and said, hold on, I'll be right back, and brought me this huge book with a list of all the gods. I mean, I don't know if I had all the gods, but this book, the biggest book I've ever seen in my life. And I looked in it, he was going over me and telling me about all the attributes. You know, all of these gods, what they call gods, or identify them as Elohims, have names. Many, from A to Z, brothers and sisters. If you think I'm lying, go to the Library of Congress or any library. They might have a copy, but the Library of Congress got the biggest copy known in America. And you go there, and they go to this vault and bring you this book of every attribute you probably could possibly think about a god, or what they call it or identify it as Elohim, have an attribute of the water, the sea, the plants, everything. They contribute a god to it, a deity to it, with a name. And so the brother was saying, to the point, he listened to these sources, wherever he get books he picked up, start reading and start believing. Nearly at the point of the Creator never identified his name to anyone. I heard people say things like this, brothers and sisters. See, this is exactly what these sources do. They take you further away from the truth, if possible. One thing I know from the writings, the Hebrew writings, the Abiyah entrusted his pure word only with the Hebrew people. Israel Yah. Yes, Yah and Israel Yah. These are facts, brothers and sisters. One thing I learned from going in my life and dealing with foreigners, people that is not of origin, that whom the Father gave this truth to, they all lie, every last one of them. The best you get out of them is a little bit of truth, but a whole rack of lies. They will all lead you off from the Most High himself. These are the facts, brothers and sisters. You don't believe me? If you go through the experience in life, you deal with these people, you're going to be lied to. After you gave up so much time and money. Because see, this is what they do. They always get you away from the physical. That the Father put our soul and breathed into our nostrils the breath of life into a physical body that came from the death of the ground. So the element, how people describe it, have wide X chromosomes and all of these things. The wide X chromosomes had nothing to do when Abiyah give a word and say a Messiah going to come when the two nations come back home and be one. So I had one guy that sent me a comment tonight saying the wide X in some rock they found had something to do with identifying Yahushua. Farther from the truth, brothers. See, these are the things people use. They try to use some what they learn in school, some science, some biology. Now they go with archaeological findings and try to see that and show and say this confirms the prophecy that is a lie, brothers and sisters. So you got to know the scripture, the words of Yah, brothers and sisters. And Abiyah don't talk about no Y X chromosome. If he don't talk about no rocks, you don't look to them kind of sources what people find for you. Remember, see, one thing, when you know our history and you go back, we got enemies from inside and we got enemies from outside. If you know the prophecy of Yah, Abiyah said he's going to remove us from our enemies. Lands. That's the salvation talking about. He's going to bring us back together, and then he said he's going to remove the rebels from within. Yes, the enemies from within that rebels against Yah every word. So we have enemies from outside, and we got enemies from within side of Yah and Israel. Yah. These are the facts of Yah. Yes, and both of them twisted the scriptures, brothers and sisters. That's a fact in history and times. Even the enemy outside forced, according to the writers I found, Hebrews from inside to interpret the scriptures so they can write their translations into Greek. Brothers and sisters. And so we have all of this going in the history of time, in the presence. And so we got all of these lying preachers go forth, and they tell you, and they keep your mind in the spiritual realm. They get you thinking on the things of spiritual that you know not of, and tell you to reject everything. The flesh is nothing. But try to have lose an eye that you've been walking with all your life and see how you feel then about your body. When all of y'all put this body together and put this life in it, he meant for us to walk in this physical body. Even he said when we get back home, he said so many men are going to die, but he's going to repopulate the land of Israel with men. These are scriptures, brothers and sisters, in the physical. Matter of fact, y'all say he's going to come and take his throne and live among us forever. Generation after generation, brothers and sisters. See, this is what people do, brothers and sisters. They tell you about the spiritual realm. The spiritual world that we hardly know anything about. We never seen it. We live in, but we didn't been outside our body to under the grasp all this wisdom of Yah in this different realm. In the spiritual world. So they tell you this, to think about the spirit. You go into heaven, you can fly around heaven all day, you can get all the riches, you ain't gonna need nothing. You're not gonna marry or none of these type of things, further from the truth. But that's what they tell you. But in the physical, they're getting all of your money. So they live like kings. They're getting the new car, the planes, the jets, and all the other things they get in the physical. But they get you to tell you don't worry about these things. Yes, I was a part of an organization that told me these things. He ran around with a new car and building houses here to dead. And a millionaire. You walk around in trash and driving trash, and they tell you don't worry about it, but keep on bringing your cash, and they need more money for this bill and for that, because the economy is dropping. I heard all of these things and the food is getting scarce. So they tell you all of these things, brothers and sisters, milking you the whole time. Your mind is in the heavens that you know nothing about. Y'all say he's coming from the heavens to live on the earth, and he's going to dwell among us. So they get you to look down on the physical that the Father gives us. Everything you know just about on earth is a physical. Look at the trees out there. Allah made everything wonderful for us to eat. He gave us hands, eyes, toes, all of these things that is physical. Try to live without these things, brothers and sisters, and see how your soul feel about not having a leg or an arm or an eye. If you have to go through the experience to lose one of these things, then you will understand a little bit more how precious that Allah gave the arm was that you lost, and how you depend on other people and you feel pain in the spirit and in your soul, brothers and sisters. That's the reality. I know how I feel when I get sick. It feel like you're dying, and that's a terrible feeling. You be glad when it go away. Brothers and sisters, y'all gave us these bodies for a reason. To use them, to take care of them. If you think about it, but I ain't get into my message yet, but I got to cover this because people are losing it, brothers and sisters. That's how these organizations been pimping us so long. They get you to think so out of it. So way out about a knowledge of the spiritual you don't know nothing about, brothers and sisters, but very little. So they play on that. They get you to think way out there. But they rhyme you way here on the earth, brothers and sisters. They ask for everything physical from you, but they want you to think everything spiritually. Believe me, I would never talk against the spirit. I'm not talking against the spirit. The spirit is wonderful, but I don't know all about the spirit. But one thing I say is I'm not going to get into something that I don't know about fully. I'm going to wait till I experience it. That's what I can tell a person. I never died, so I don't know what's in the spiritual world. So like some people say, oh, you've been here in the spiritual in the past. I said, I don't know about all of that. The Father didn't reveal all these things to me, so I'm not going to worry about all these things I don't know. But one thing I know, I have a physical body. This physical body needs food, clothes, and shelter, brothers and sisters. This is a fact, a life, I'm telling you. We got to go to the basic. We got to look at reality, what we can see, what we can hear, what we can feel, what we can touch. I'm leading on to this message to show you how the salvation I'll be talking about is physical. We read the words of Yah from the laws and the prophets. You know, majority of the laws is for the physical, how to grow vegetation, how to protect the vegetation, the life food source. It tell you what food, clean food to eat from the animal source, from the plant source. It tell you about the benefits of the sun, the moon, the purpose for all of these things, the trees. The RBI took the time to grow all of these things, create all of these things for us to eat physically. These bodies are going to be here for a long time. Yes, RBI say at the time will come, he going to heal our bodies. We won't feel these pains and aches, but we still going to have bodies. Brothers and sisters, these are the facts of Yah. He said he's going to give us a physical land. He said this thing going to be your land forever. Yes, that made out of dirt. We're going to step our foot on this land. He said, as a matter of fact, in Isaiah 60, he said the nation going to come and build our city, restore our city, build it back up. Brothers and sisters, this thing going to be physical. We're not going to leave these bodies like people see. That's all that New Testament talk from the enemy, brothers and sisters. Get your mind to think, we're out there. Abiyah said we're going to be filled. Matter of fact, he said your cattle going to increase. He said the land going to look like the Garden of Eden again. These are the words of Yah from the prophets' mouths that was given to the mouths of the prophets to speak to us. This is the reality of the fact, brothers and sisters. You got to get back to the basic, brother. People get so out of it. They're going into all of these books that the Father Yah told them not to even tamper with this mixture, brothers and sisters. This evil. We got two types of spirits on the earth. The Hebrew people should only listen to Hebrew people. Don't you know in the prophecy, it tell you the people going to come up to the land of Yashalom, in the land of Jerusalem, Israel Yah, in the land of Yada. And they're going to come up. And they say even for strangers, foreigners going to ask the Hebrew men, could it come up with them to hear the words of Yah? See, they're going to have to come physically to get this deliverance, to get this knowledge. See, now, they're going to get the spiritual knowledge. But right now, we need a physical deliverance home. See, we take this spiritual knowledge into the physical body, into the mind, see, that the Father gave us. See, the Ruach is what controls the physical. See, the Ruach is given to control the physical body, to keep the physical body intact, to keep the physical body from decaying. So when we obey Yah, He gives us all the things we need. So He gives us the spiritual knowledge to take care of the physical body. The two go hand in hand. Remember, before anybody tampered with the food and altered the way the Abiyah made it perfect, and before disobedience came to the earth, everything was perfect. Men were meant to live forever, to constantly regenerate over and over, renew themselves over and over and over. Remember, Abiyah put the life in the seeds, so we plant these seeds, they reproduce over and over and over. He made it designed forever. Everything. That's why the sun never got put away. The moon, the stars, everything was in its order, constantly shining and flourish. Brothers and sisters, you got to understand these things when I'm telling you, brothers and sisters. We got to get back to the simplicity of the words of Yah. But when you go out there, I'm telling you, picking up all of these strange books, you're gonna push yourself further away from Yah, the Almighty. You're gonna be saying He got no name. And all of these things, what I heard the brother say tonight. He said, "There's no name that we know of the Creator, brothers and sisters." That's where you get brothers getting off track, brothers and sisters. They're getting off track with the words of Yah. That's why we got that teaching going out there. The name is not important, but they got a name. Everything got a name. Don't you know all of the Elohims that they say that they created this? It's the God of this. It's the God of this vegetation. The God of the water, the sea, of this bull. They contribute all of these beings to something and say they're responsible for this source and responsible for that source, brothers and sisters. That's what they do. Let me get into this message, brothers and sisters, because it's very important to show you these things, the words of Yah. I'm starting out with Proverbs chapter 20, verse 22, and it reads. Chapter 20, verse 22 of Proverbs, read, brothers and sisters. As I say not you, I will repay evil, but wait on Yah. As I say not you, I will recompense evil, but wait on Yah, and he shall save you. Think about that. He said, wait on Yah, and he will save us. As I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 7, verse 1, brothers and sisters. This is a very important video. I got my hand over the camera. So right here I'm going to not Proverbs, but Psalm chapter 7, verse 1. Give me a moment. Let me get there, brothers and sisters. I had to cover that because it's very important at this time. Right here, I'm going to Psalms, brothers and sisters. Right here, Psalm 7. Psalm right here, 7, 1, right there. It said, O Yah, my Barah, in you do I put my trust. Save me from all them that persecute me and deliver me. You see that? So this asking for a physical salvation, deliverance right here. Right here it says, save me from all them that, right here, brothers and sisters, that persecute me and deliver me. So that's what it's saying right there in verse 1 of chapter 7 as I go to chapter 18, brothers and sisters. It's very important, brothers and sisters, that you understand these. Psalm chapter 18, brothers and sisters, at this time. I'm going to go to on the 27th verse. Give me a moment. The 27th verse reads, for you will save the you will save the afflicted people, but will bring down the high looks. See, the proud ones, the high looks. He said he'll save the afflicted people. See, those who've been oppressed, the afflicted people, but will bring down the high looks. See, these are the promises of Yah. I'm going to read verse in the same chapter 18 of Psalm 41 and say, they cried, but there was none to save them, even unto Yah, but he answered them not. You see that, brother? Let me go read verse 40. It said, thou hast also given me the neck of my enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto Yah, but he answered them not. And then 42, and then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as dirt in the street. See, that is physical, brothers and sisters. Physical. See, it's showing how they began their enemies. Obviously, I did not save their enemies in that time. As I'm going to go to chapter 55. Chapter 55, brothers and sisters, of Psalms, verse 16 at this time. I'm showing you, brothers and sisters, how the salvation is going to be physical, brothers and sisters, from our enemies. It's a physical deliverance. But when we read the laws that's spiritual. But it's given in words that you understand the mind of Yah, how we should live our life and how we should walk before Him. And then He gives us instructions of what to do from the prophets, brothers and sisters. You got to keep that in mind. How we should move physically. 55 and verse 16 reads, brothers and sisters, it's as for me, I will call upon Barah, who is the creator, and Yah shall save me. You see? So giving us instructions. I'm walking you through this, and this is what our Hebrew brothers did. It said they called on Yah, their Barah, their creator, and by they doing that, they know Yah shall save them. It's very important, brothers and sisters. I was reading a couple of prophecies, probably a couple of prophets, and how, when they was in captivity, how they confessed to Yah, their sins and the sins of their ancestors. Yes, quite a few prophets did these things. Men of Yah did these things, yes, before they was delivered. It's very important that we make our confession as individuals. And when we come together, we do it all on one accord together. But we can do it as individually too. Yes, brothers, before Abba Yah. Honestly, we got to deal with knowledge. We got to understand what we're doing as I go to Zechariah chapter 8. We got to understand all things that we're doing, brothers and sisters. We got to understand the salvation of Yah. It's very important, brothers and sisters, that we understand the mind of Yah. Or we had somebody coming with philosophy and talking about some Y, X chromosome, and some rocks they found and lead you further from the truth, brother and sister. I didn't tell us to look to some Y, X chromosome, but only His word we trust. Not in biology, not in the science of man, the philosophy, the own ideas of man. Not in some Elohims or gods. He tells us to trust in brothers and sisters. But He said trust in His words that He gave through the mouths of the prophets. That's what always got our people in trouble, brothers and sisters. They did not trust the words of Yah that came from the prophets. The words always come from the prophets. Before the prophet, it was coming from the priests of Yah. Yes, from the priest and from the king. But they failed Yah. And that's why I put the priests out, He put the kings out, He put the Zaquir, what they call the leaders, out. He put them all out of the brothers and sisters, out of that land. Let me get to Zechariah, brothers and sisters. Okay, I flipped the page and then I went back the other direction from it. But brothers, the things what I'm telling you at this time is to the utmost important, brothers and sisters, to understand this deliverance, because we got to do this physically. This is not a spiritual deliverance. Well, the spiritual part come in when you get the knowledge of Yah. That is spiritual. But we got a physical one I'll be talking about. That's what's going to get us back into the land and out of the hands of the enemy. The first part we get is spiritual. That's the knowledge of Yah. The spiritual part is the first part of salvation. You get the knowledge. That's the spirit part. The knowledge is the spirit of Yah, the truth of Yah. Then once you get the spiritual knowledge, the salvation, that means you're free from all the lies that hold you back. Then it's the physical, because from the spiritual knowledge comes the physical deliverance. Because we gotta act, we can't move without knowledge, or we'll go into a ditch. We'll be trapped. So keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. It's very important to understand these things when I'm telling you at this time. I'm in Zechariah chapter 8. And then let me get the verse 7. I'm going to 7 at this time. I'm going to verse 7. I'm reading 7 to 8 in chapter 8. So chapter 8 of Zechariah, verse 7 reads, thus saith Yah of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country. See, so he's going to save them, which is he's going to deliver them. He's going to redeem them from the east country, from the west country. So I will bring them. See, we're moving physically. He said, I'm going to bring them. That's an action. Bring. A verb. He said, I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Yashalom. See, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Barak in truth and righteousness. You see that? See, righteousness is one thing. Truth is one thing. And salvation is one thing. See? He said, thus saith 7, he said, thus saith Yah, behold, I will save my people. See? Remember Abiyah said in his words, he's going to deliver us because of his name's sake, because we tarnish his name. Not because of our righteousness, but because of his mercy. Brothers and sisters, and the promises he made with Abraham, Yishak, and Yaakov, our ancestors, brothers and sisters. So remember, taking on our righteousness is one thing, but it's a physical deliverance that we're going to take, brothers and sisters. Physical. The spiritual part of it is getting the knowledge of Yah. See, taking on his spirit, on our ways again, getting his knowledge of his law and his prophecies. Remember, Abiyah said, it's not according to the law. Basically, not according to the law and prophecy. The words that come from the prophet's mouths, there's no truth in these people, brothers and sisters. We got to have the spiritual knowledge to move physically. Verse 13 reads, it said, and it shall come to pass that as you were a curse among the nations, see the heathen, O house of Yada, and the house of Israel, Yah, he's talking to you, this is a prophecy for us at this time, so will I save you. You see that again? And you shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hand be strong. You see that? This is a command. He's showing us how he's physically going to deliver us. I'm walking you through this. He said, O house of Yah, O house of Israel, Yah, I will save you, and you shall be a blessing, and fear not, but let your hands be strong. For thus saith Yah of hosts, as I thought to punish you, when your father provoked me to wrath, saith Yah of hosts, and I repented not. You see that? Showing you that we're not saved, right there, brothers. See, he said he thought it, and he punished us. And he repented not. See, he turned back. He was sorry not. He turned back from punishment because of the sins we did against him, our ancestors. Let me read a little bit more. So again, I have thought in these days to do well unto Yashalom, and to the house of Yada. Fear ye not. These are the words of Yah, brothers and sisters. Okay, I read that. Okay. Something I want to read here. Let me go back to Psalms real quick. Okay, I will go back to Psalms real quick. Chapter 80, verse 2. I see something there, brothers and sisters. I almost passed it. So chapter 80 of Psalms at this time, brothers and sisters. I want me to show you these things at this time, brothers and sisters. I'm doing this in the love of Yah and doing this in the love for my whole family. I hate none of you. I hate sin. I hate to see my brothers and sisters twisted, many of you. But with this message, this will straighten us out, brothers and sisters, if you trust the words of Yah and begin to understand. I'll be open your eyes to these things. There's a physical salvation he's talking about. Yes, it's a spiritually awakening. See, Abiyah is the one that do the awakening spiritually. So that's one salvation, delivering you from the lie, the deception, taking you from out of falsehood. So that's a deliverance. But the ultimate one, he talked about the deliverance that gives us peace. See, because you don't have a spiritual mind anyway. But we in need of a physical deliverance away from the enemy. Brothers and sisters. Remember the Father said, only our peace come when we get home. Matter of fact, our peace come once we meet Abiyah in the wilderness, and then on that way, that's all the way to the land, brothers and sisters. We'll have that full assurance forever. We will never fear again once we get home. See, that's the deliverance, Abiyah, the physical deliverance from the hands of our enemy. He said they will never oppress us again. Chapter 80, verse 2 reads, that before Ephraim and Benjamin and Manasseh stir up your strength and come and save us. See? Let me read verse 1 real quick. It says, give ear, O shepherds of Israel, you that leadest Yasef like a flock. You that dwelleth between the cherubims, shine forth. Before Ephraim and Benjamin and Manasseh, stir up your strength and come and save us. You see that? It's a come for salvation to us. See? It's a turn us again, O Barak, and cause your face to shine, and we shall be saved. You see that? When Abiyah turned his face unto us, he said, when we turn and confess our sins, he'll remember that land and deliver us. See? Brothers and sisters. It won't get plainer and plainer to you. I got quite a bit to go. I hope I can get a lot of this in this video, brothers and sisters. Very important. Psalms 86. Let me go to Psalms 86 real quick in verse 2 while I'm here. Psalm 86 and verse 2 reads, it says, preserve my soul, for I am Kodesh. O you Barak, O you my Barak, save your servant that trusteth in you. You see that? Many of our people said these prayers while they was in captivity, being oppressed by the enemy. So the concept of our people, in all through these scriptures, you see something about save and salvation to deliver me from the oppressed enemy. See, our people are always crying out for physical deliverance. Because you can read the scriptures anywhere and have a spiritual deliverance. You can understand the words of Yah and understand the words of the enemy, that the enemy is a lying. So you protect it in that aspect. But when you're in captivity, physically, you need a physical deliverance. See? Right now, the state we are in now, brothers and sisters, we all over the earth. When you're not inside your own homeland under your own laws and ruling and roaming, and I hate to use the word roaming, but traveling under your own guidelines and rules that you have under Yah. You're not free physically. See, nobody can bind you spiritually. Only way you bind spiritually if you know not the spirit of Yah, if you have not the Ruach of Yah. Then you don't know the spirit of Yah. But once you have the spirit of Yah, nobody can trap your spirit of Yah. But they can trap you physically. Why do you think our people caged up in the prison house? That's physically. You can't get ignorant, brothers and sisters. That's physically locked up. And your soul is suffering. That's why people have nightmares. Because physically, they're being tortured. One time y'all say you can pay them back, brothers and sisters, because physically, you can't talk about the spiritual realm, or when a person dead, a dead man know nothing. But when you physically been hurt and afflicted, and blood coming out your body, and people whipping you, that's physically, brothers and sisters. Yes, and it hurt you in your soul. Yes, the farther we can understand what we think in our mind, it hurts when somebody mess with our physical body. That's a fact. It hurts when we get cut by a knife or shot. It hurts. We got to look at reality, brothers and sisters, and stop flying way out there that things you really don't know nothing about too much. I'm not disrespecting, so don't try to twist my words. Anybody who think that way. I never try to talk about things or disrespect this ruach of Yah that I know not much about, but very little. What Yah give us at this time. Yes, a lot of them are hidden from us because we don't have all the original books. So let me continue, brothers and sisters. I'm going to go to at this time, I read 62, 2. So let me read 86, 3 real quick. It said, be merciful unto me, Yah, for I cry unto you daily. You see that? 4. Rejoice the soul of your servant, for unto you, Yah, do I lift up my soul. You see that? We lift up our soul unto him. See, all of this is in our body. The breath, the fire breathed, the ruach he breathed into us is in the body. So we got to respect every aspect what Allah gave us, from the physical to the spiritual. You know very little about the spirit, brothers and sisters. That's why many brothers can't how to describe, okay, how intelligent they are. They don't know enough about Yah and the ruach. If you didn't go there and die and didn't leave your body, you don't know these things about the ruach of Yah that well. Nobody. Brothers and sisters, people make up a lot of lies. Isaiah chapter 33, brothers and sisters, I'm going to go there. Isaiah 33, give me a moment, and verse 22 at this time. 33:22, brothers and sisters, at this time. Right here. It said, for Yah is our judge. It said, for Yah, I'm about to say reference. For Yah is our judge. Yah is our lawgiver. Yah is our king. He will save us. You see that? It said, for Yah is our judge. Yah is our lawgiver. You see that, brothers and sisters? Our Yah he's our judge. He's our lawgiver. Yah is our king. He will save us. So keep that in mind. As I go on, Isaiah 35:4, chapter 35 and verse 4 at this time reads, it says, say to them that are of fearful hearts, be strong, fear not. Behold, your Bara, who is the creator in English, come with vengeance, even Bara with a recompense. He will come and save you. He said, then the eyes of the blind shall be open, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. See that? He said, and then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing, for the wilderness shall water break out, streams in the desert. So keep that in mind. You can read the rest, but for the sake of time, I'm skip some of this because it's very important what I'm getting into to show you. Our Yah is the one who coming. The one who coming with revenges on the enemy is Yah, with a recompense on the enemy for what they have done to us physically. He said, he will come and save us. Keep that in mind. Our Yah is coming. Nobody else. Our Yah coming with the host of his Kings. Keep that in mind. But he is our king that is coming. So Isaiah, I'm going to Isaiah 63 at this time, and verse 1. Brothers and sisters. Isaiah 63 at this time, in verse 1. It said, who is this that who cometh from Eden, with dyed garments from Bozrah. This is that is wonderful in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, and that I speak in righteousness that I speak in righteousness, minded to save. Since the revenges of the rock, so who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is wonderful in his pearl, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I speak in the righteousness, the mighty to save. So keep that in mind, mighty to save, to deliver, to redeem. So keep these things in mind as I'm going to go to Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 27. Jeremiah chapter 22, I'm showing some things about salvation. Jeremiah at this time, chapter 2 and verse 27, brothers and sisters, at this time. It says, say to a stock, you are my father, and to the stone, you has brought me forth. For they have turned their backs unto me, and not their face. See, I'll just say, our answer is they turn their backs to Yah, but not their face to Yah. He said, but the time of their troubles, they will say, arise and save us. See, I'll be saying, in the time of our troubles, see, our people, y'all be saying, our people, they turn to Elohim, and they turn their backs to Yah, but turn their face away from Yah. But I will say, but in the time of trouble, they will say, arise and save us. That's why our people say, Kumbaya. Help us, Yah, help us. Why do you think they came with that song, Kumbaya? Our people was in trouble, brothers and sisters. They went to Abiyah to help them, but Abiyah said they're going to be punished for a period of time. Let me read a little bit more of this. It's about, where are your gods? See, where's your Elohims that thou hast made you? Let them arise, and if they can save you in the time of your trouble, for according to the number of your cities are your Elohims, your gods. You get that? Let me get that a little close so you can see these words. Right here, brothers and sisters. 28. We're going to read it together once again. He said, but where are your gods, which is your Elohims, that you has made you? He said, let them arise if they can save you. In a time of trouble, for according to the number of your cities are your gods, your Elohims. Oh, Yada. You get that, brothers and sisters, right there, brothers and sisters. See, that was just in Yada. He said, according to their city, the number of their cities was their gods. And all their gods had names. See, the Elohim they made, these things they made with their hands, you see that? Anybody, that's what I've been telling brothers and sisters. The thing that people made, what they call idols and image, they called them Elohims, gods. So let me read a little bit more. It said, wherefore, 29. It said, wherefore will you plead with me? That was the question. Ye have transgressed against me. See, disobeyed Yah, saith Yah. He said, in vain have I smitten your children. They receive no correction. Your own sword have devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. You see what our own people did? See, let me get a close up on this right here. He said, your own sword have destroyed your prophets like a destroying lion. See, this is what our old people did, brother. See, our people told this is the ones from within. I'm not even talking about the Gentile name. From within, our people destroyed. So let me read a little bit more, brothers and sisters, before I continue with my message. Right here, 31 reads, "Old generation, see you, the words of Yah. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel, Yah, a land of darkness? Wherefore says my people, we are lords. We will come no more unto you." You see what Abiyah said? They said, the people say they are lords, masters, and whatever, gods, or whatever they want to call themselves. Our people are so arrogant, so proud, so boastful against Yah. Brothers and sisters. That's why Abiyah had to punish them, because the arrogance of our people. Even to this day, you see that in many of our people, brothers and sisters. So let me go to Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 20 at this time, brothers and sisters. It's very important. The words I give you of Yah is important, brothers and sisters, at this time. I pray that you meditate on these words of Yah, you rehearse these words of Yah in your own time, brothers and sisters. Think about these things and make it right with Yah and see what our ancestors have done. This is come from within. In Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 20 reads, he said, "I will make you unto this people a fence brazen wall, and they shall fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you." See, he was telling this to Yah, the prophet. See, he told him he could make them a brazen wall, tough, mentally. But he said, they're going to fight against you. And he wasn't up but giving them the words of Yah. Let me keep reading. He said, "For I am with you to save you and to deliver you." See, all physical brothers and sisters saith Yah. He said, "I will deliver you out of the hands of the wicked, and I will redeem you out of the hands of the troubled." See? Remember they said they put him in the heart of the law, they often wanted to kill Yah. Physically. We're dealing with the physical brothers and sisters. Just like the enemy often want to kill us physically, although at this time they got their hands on. Because remember how I said our people perish because of lack of knowledge? Physically you're dying, brothers and sisters, without the knowledge of Yah. See, you got to have the spiritual knowledge to know what to do physically. All both go hand in hand, just like the spirit inside our bodies go with our bodies. Our soul go with our bodies, brothers and sisters, even though it all belongs to Yah. These are things we got to remember. So we got to respect every aspect what Abiyah gives us, because it all belongs to him. Think about that, brothers and sisters, because he created everything. So chapter 30 of Jeremiah, I'm going to at this time, verse 10 to 11. So that's why I don't listen to the nonsense about and get on in the discussion too much about all the flesh is nothing. It's this and this and this. I don't get into all of that with people, brothers and sisters. Y'all made everything for a reason, and we living in this body. So why the body ain't nothing? We got to take care of it. It's laws that govern our bodies. Y'all made laws for our body. See, a mind that'll say this on the flesh is nothing, these are the ones that go out and commit bestiality, homosexuality. Why are y'all call it abomination? To do anything with your body that is against the will of Yah, against the natural way he made us, brothers and sisters. The body is for a reason, not to be disorderly with our body. Not be out of control with our bodies. We got to regulate our bodies according to the laws of Yah, brothers and sisters. That's what he's saying to us. Right here, let me get to right here, chapter 30, verse 10 to 11. And it reads, he said, "For I am with you, saith Yah, to save you." You see that? "Though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered you, yet I will not make a full end of you. See? He said, but I will correct you in measure. You see, I will say he's going to correct us, which is he's going to correct us. We're going to go through this punishment in measure. He said, I will not leave you altogether unpunished. See? He said, for thus saith Yah, the bruise is incurable, and your wound is grievous. See, he talked about the sin, the stain, the terribleness that we did. You know all of the stuff we did physically done. Everything we did was physical to the point of making things, bowing down to things. But we broke the spiritual covenant of Yah. See, the words of Yah. But physically we did all these things with, because all the spirit laws of Yah is for the physical being, the body, how to conduct and how to walk in the spirit. That is in us and control these bodies. Yes, you see, it goes hand in hand. The spirit, the soul go with the body. It says right here, for I am with you, saith Yah, to save you. Though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered you. See? So he said, where he scatters, the nation's going to come to an end. He said, yet I will make a full end of you. He said, yet I will make a full end of you, but I will correct you to measure. Let me read back again. He said, excuse me. He said, I will make a full end of all the nations where I scatter you, yet I will, he said, yet will I not make a full end of you, but I will correct you in measure and will not leave you altogether unpunished. He said, for thus saith Yah, the bruise is incurable, and your wound is grievous. You see the words of Yah right there, brothers and sisters? The things, excuse me, I missed something. I missed 10, I read 11 and 12, excuse me. Let me go back up and read verse 10 of 30. And read, is it therefore fear you not, O my servant Yaakov, saith Yah. Neither be dismayed, O Yezreel Yah. For lo, I will save you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity. You get that? See that physicalness? It's I will save you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity. And Yaakov shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. You see that? How we're going to return? What you say? Yaakov going to return. Telling the family of Yaakov going to return from captivity. I say he's going to save us, which is he's going to deliver us, redeem us. And to get into the scriptures, get into all the how we're going to be delivered, brothers and sisters. But you got to understand this knowledge. You got to understand the whole salvation plan is physically dealing with us moving from our captivity back into the land. That's physically I'm dealing with. I got to show you the physical aspect of it. The spiritual part is talking about getting the knowledge of Yah. That's the spiritual part is getting the knowledge of Yah, the laws of Yah, the laws of the prophet. We got to have that knowledge, so you can know how to have this spirit, the knowledge, which is the spirit. With the spirit, the Ruach give the knowledge that came from Yah, which is the knowledge, the instructions of what to do and how to get home physically. You got to have these things, brothers and sisters. Let me get to Jeremiah chapter 42 real quick while I'm here. Chapter 42, verse 11 at this time. Then we'll go to chapter 46, verse 27. So right here, chapter 2, let me get there. My page is kind of sticky. Chapter 42, brothers and sisters, at this time. While you're having a time, we got 42, chapter 42, in 11 reads, it says, be not afraid of the king of Babylon, of whom you are afraid. Be not afraid of him, saith Yah,